it's Shad's back again with another vlog. An interesting, well, it might be interesting. It all depends on what you find interesting. Basically, just wanted to go over a couple of things. First of all, new mouse. Now, I'm going to go over this in a minute. I'm going to do a bit a brief unboxing, if you like, and also go over why I chose this one over other ones. But first, it's Saturday morning. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I've just been to town. I've just gone to pick up my mouse that was failed to be delivered, so I had to go and pick it up from the post office. I've just got back, and I had an email earlier this morning regarding my YouTube channel, that the busking video that I did on my birthday, which was basically me doing requests, playing guitar, sometimes badly, most times badly, has been blocked. Not the channel, although to be honest, if they did, I'd just start another one. Yeah, the video's been blocked in all countries due to a copyright claim by EMG Music. Now, the quote that they used was it had been blocked for the song Pour Some Sugar on Me, which isn't owned by EMG Music. It's owned by Bludgeon Rufola Music and Def Leppard. Had it been an earlier Def Leppard song, it would have been owned by Vertigo or... what's the UK version of Vertigo? Vertigo's the US. Phonogram. Because I do my research and I know my Def Leppard. And had it been, all later stuff is owned by Def Leppard or Bludgeon Rufola, which is their own record label. And if you look in any of the album covers, it'll tell you where the copyright is anyway. And I own all their albums, so I know where the copyright is. Unless it's been bought out by EMG, I don't know, but I very much doubt it. I can't be bothered to complain against it or file a dispute, because ultimately it'll just go on and on and on, and it's one video that had 60 odd views. No harm, no foul. So, the idea of the whole busking thing I thought was a really good idea. And I know for a fact that there's loads of other channels out there that do cover songs and don't seem to get shut down or have their music blocked or anything like that. So I've reached out to a couple of channels that I follow. BWM50, I think his name is. To see how they get around not getting copyright claims and so on and so forth. And until I receive a concrete answer, then I'm probably just going to not bother doing videos like that on YouTube. However, Beam don't seem to have that kind of blocking in place, and the video's only ever up for maybe, 14 days anyway. So I've decided I'm going to do two things on Beam. Well, there's one recorded content that I'm going to be doing coming up soon when I get the time, and I'm going to continue with the busking-ish scheme. But what I'm probably going to do is later today, probably around about 2 PM UK time, which will be around 8 AM US time, I think. I'm going to do a live stream of me playing the entirety of one album by one artist. This particular one, because it was the first thing that came into head, it is Def Leppard's Hysteria. As a little sort of to YouTube. So I haven't played the whole album for ages and ages. I've played selected songs, as you know, Pour Some Sugar on Me. I think I did Animal and Hysteria, and Armageddon it as well. But I haven't played the whole thing for a long time. And I just thought it would be good, because I want to get back into, this will lead on to the next bit. And I do different albums, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to lead it on to the recorded content that I've decided that I'm going to do, which is me writing my own song. I don't know how it's going to go, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do little bits of maybe laying down the drum tracks, maybe laying down the bass tracks, and so on and so forth. And I'm going to leave it a week in between each video and let people have their, give feedback. Alternatively, what I could do is I could live stream the whole damn thing, and because it's my music, I can't get a copyright claim. So I might live stream it and get your guys' input about, yeah, that riff sounds really cool, or no, we don't really like that, or maybe play it in a different key, whatever. And I've always wanted to get back into recording music. I used to do it a long time ago, and it's what I did at college. I did a diploma in popular music. And recorded some stuff, and I was in a couple of bands, and we recorded some albums and stuff like that. But it's been so long since I've done it that well, I think it'd be nice to get back into. I don't have huge amounts of time, but I think if I was to do like an hour's session of a weekend on a Saturday, and just go from there, and then have your guys' input, which I think would be really awesome. And I can do that on YouTube. Because it doesn't really bother me. I don't have many followers on Beam. I'd rather share this with you guys straight off the bat sort of thing without doing a VOD or anything like that. So that's the plan. And as far as I know, nobody else has done it. If they have, well, you know, I'm just jumping on the bandwagon without knowing about it. But I think that'd be a really good thing. So over on Beam, I'll be doing live sessions of playing entire albums. I'm going to start with Def Leppard's Hysteria, which is an hour long. There you go. So, and then maybe I'll do Pyromania or High and Dry or a different band altogether. Maybe Metallica's Metallica or whatever. Whatever I decide on the day will be the theme and the album. So there you go. Right, that's that. On to the next bit, which is the unboxing and what I call brand snobbery. Okay, so I have currently, this is my mouse that I use at the moment. Oh, hello. It's the cheapest Logitech I could find, and I think it cost me about £6. It wasn't. I didn't choose Logitech for any other reason than it was pretty much the only one that was available, and I wanted a wired mouse because the one I had previously was wireless, and there's just a little. When you're gaming, there's just a little tiny bit of lag because it was a cheapy wireless one, and my keyboard. Let me just move this without knocking everything off. Oh, don't fall over. There we go. My keyboard is a £6 Trust basic keyboard. Somewhere around I've got a Microsoft ergonomic one, but I didn't really get on with that with gaming. It's great for typing, but not so much for gaming. This one, the keys, the A and the S key are wearing off, but that doesn't matter because I know where they are. Cheap, cheerful, it does the job. So I don't know if you remember, if you go back through my videos back, well, almost a year ago now, maybe slightly less than a year ago, probably about 6 months, I upgraded my PC. Or I got a new case for my PC because cooling was an issue in my other case. There was only one fan and it wasn't that great. And I'd upgraded my graphics card to a 960, GTX 960 4GB, and it just wasn't. The fans were roaring, absolutely screaming. There wasn't enough ventilation. So I bought a Game Max case. I can't show you because it's tucked down under there, and if I lift it up, everything will fall off. But if you look back through my videos, you'll see me sort of like putting everything in there and all that sort of stuff. So, and to be honest, it cost me £25. Sorry, £25, which would have been about, what, $30, I suppose. And with free delivery. And I was really, really impressed with the quality of the case. It's superb. It had 4 fans in it. It's got LEDs if you want them. I don't want them. Pull them out. The only thing it didn't have was a card reader built into it, which I went out and just bought a cheap one for, like, I think that was about £3 on eBay. And there you go. Job done. Super. So I quite like Game Max as a case. Now, I know there's a lot of people that like Corsair and all that kind of stuff. And this is where I get into the brand snobbery. Some people buy brands because of the name of the brand. So, for example, some people will only wear Nike trainers. Some people will only wear Reebok clothing or Puma or whatever. And that's fine. But if you're a cheap ass like me, you like to go for the slightly cheaper brands. I wear Airwalks. Generally speaking, because I find them comfortable and I can get them very, very cheaply. In fact, I can get them usually at about 60% off of the retail price in a place that we have here in the UK called Sports Direct. So rather than spend £60 on a pair of trainers, I can spend £22 on a pair of trainers for exactly the same thing. Awesome. Why would I want to spend more? So that leads me to, I really, really wanted a Corsair mouse or a Razer Naga or something like that. But I'm not spending £70. I can buy a power supply for £70 for a PC. I can buy a CPU. I can buy a Kaby Lake Pentium dual core hyper-threaded CPU, which is great for an entry-level gaming PC, for £50, and I'm going to spend £70 on a mouse. No, I'm not. So, I had a bit of a hunt around, and I was specifically looking for 6-button mice. Nothing fancy. I didn't want any sort of like bells and whistles. No sort of like multi-changing LEDs and all that kind of stuff. I wanted it to be wired, I wanted it to be optical, and I wanted it to have 6 buttons, because playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, I like to keep my keys on the my fingers on the movement keys, and not take my first finger off of the D to the F to pick stuff up. So I'm going to Mac that to a button, so I don't ever have to take my fingers, so I can move and keep moving without, and pick stuff up on the run if you like. So that's the first thing. So, after a lot of looking around, I found this. The Game Max, same as my PC case, Tornado. Now, that's a quality name. Now, Game Max, I don't know huge amounts about them, but I figured that the quality of the case was pretty good for the price. Who's going to argue with that? So, and it says, it has if you see that, a pro gaming sensor, anti-sweat skin, and it does actually have changing LED lights, which I didn't actually realise, but that wasn't a feature that I was specifically looking for. It's got a 1.5 metre cable, 6 buttons, 800, 1200, 1600 and 2400 DPI selectable, 7 colour, cyan, blue, magenta, white, red, green and yellow LEDs. It's black, and it weighs 10 grams. No, yeah, about 10 grams. And it was made in China. And it supports Windows 10, which is always a good thing, because I never actually checked that. But USB is pretty much USB, isn't it? So I'm going to unbox this bad boy and plug it into the front USB port so I can show you the LEDs and all that kind of stuff. And pretty much go from there. And I'll report back at some point after I've played a few games to let you know whether it's any good or not. It cost me £7.50. Quick translation, around $10. That's a lot cheaper than a Razer Naga. It's a lot cheaper than, well, it's about £1 more expensive than my basic Logitech mouse. So here we are. Throw that down there. Let's open her up, and there we go. Look at that. Ooh, nice. So straight away, let me get that central. It's got a nice little Game Max logo on there. I'm sorry about the sunlight coming in there. If I hold it in that hand, it might look a little bit better. There we go. So there we go. Look, you see, and it's kind of got like a synthetic skin on it. This one is all. I can't get used to the fact that it's flipped in the. See, plasticky. This one. Still plasticky, but it's kind of got this. It's not smooth and shiny. It's kind of got a bit more grip to it. It's got some little grips down the sides, and it's got what I essentially wanted, which was the 2 buttons there. I didn't want buttons all along here. I don't play MMOs, so I don't need that. So essentially, pick an item up, open a door. There you go. Job's a good one. Thank you very much. The micro switches sound okay, like, composed as opposed to this one. Let me just hold this one up. It sounds the same. Let's plug it in, see what happens. I don't know if this is going to throw my other mouse out. I might not be able to stop the video ever again. So yeah, we've got. Yeah, that's pretty. I might have to get an extender on that, because the other one is a little bit better. So. Oh, there we go. Bum, ba, da, bum. And, oh, ooh, shiny. So, yeah, it changes colour. I don't really care about that, to be fair. How does it feel? Feels pretty good. Ooh, nice. Yeah. Let's change the DPI on it. What happens if I do that? But that's the wrong button. There we go. Ooh, nice. Yep, that's super. Might put it down a little bit actually, because that was a little bit too much. Mouse is woo woo. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's too slow. That's better. Right. So happy with that for £7. A tenth of the price of a Corsair. Will it last as long? Probably not. Does it have as many functions? No, definitely not. Does it have as many buttons? No. Did I need that many buttons? No. It's all about buying what you need and what you think is good for you. That's not to say that I don't think Corsair equipment is bad. I think it's very, very good. And you do get what you pay for. It's the whole... I have this theory about the whole Apple thing and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of people hate on Apple. A lot of people love Apple. And that's fine. You like what you like and you're perfectly entitled to your views. My view on Apple is I don't like them because I don't get on with them. I don't know. Well, I do know how to use them. They just don't do what I want them to do, or they don't fit my personal preference. The quality of the items are outstanding. The build quality and the aesthetics of them are stunning. You know, the MacBook Air, the MacBook Pro, absolutely beautiful. The iPhones even, I really like the look of the iPhones. The clarity of the screens are really good. But I was on a train the other day. Okay, here's a good story. I was on a train the other day. Now, this might be something down to Apple users, or it might be down to their screens. But I was on a train and I could see loads of people on their phones and all that sort of stuff. There's one guy on his laptop. So the people that are on their phones, I would say 80 to 90% of them were on iPhones. And of that 80 to 90%, at least 50% of those people had cracks on their screens. Now, I was with a couple of other people. None of us had iPhones, or you know, I've got two phones. I have a work phone, which is a Windows phone, which is a Microsoft Lumia 640, and I have my own phone, which is a Samsung Galaxy S6. Both screens perfectly mint. The only thing on my S6 that's broken is the camera, which is really annoying. But that's my own fault for putting it in my pocket with my keys, which smashed the camera. Another guy next to me had a Lumia 640, sorry. And then somebody else had a Galaxy S7. No cracks, no breaks, nothing. Make of that what you will. Okay, we were a smaller percentage, but you would expect with that ratio that at least one of us would have maybe had a cracked screen. But of the other people that I saw that didn't have Apple phones, they didn't have cracked screens. So I'm just saying the Apple screens may be a little bit sensitive. But that aside, the equipment and the hardware and the build quality and the aesthetics of them are absolutely stunning. But they're not for me. You could say I'm a brand snob with Samsung. I love Samsung kit. Do I need a Samsung Galaxy S7 when I upgrade, or S8? No, I don't. Am I going to get one? Actually, probably not. My work phone does pretty much all I need to do. There's a few apps on it that aren't available, which would be the only thing that would stop me from using it, and that's Discord isn't available on the Windows phone as far as I'm aware yet. But other than that, I don't really think there's much else that's a problem. I probably won't upgrade to an S8. I don't need to. There's nothing wrong with apart from I might just pay to get the camera fixed on my S6 and go from there. I don't know. But yeah, back to brand snobbery. I mean, my monitors are Acer, which are a relatively cheap brand, although these were actually quite expensive monitors because they're IPS and super low millisecond. I think they're like 1 millisecond gaming monitors, so they were about £179 each. But I've seen Samsung curved monitors, same size, same 5 milliseconds, which I'm never going to notice the difference, for £120, £130, so £50 cheaper. And these ones that I've got here aren't all mountable, whereas those ones are, because I want to put it on a bracket and have them on a single bracket, which would be nice because I can move them across slightly and have them more central to how I sit. So yeah, that's brand. It's the same as the whole PlayStation versus Xbox. I play Xbox. I don't hate PlayStation. I had a PlayStation 2 for ages. We've got a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 4 in the house as well. They're not mine. I don't play on them, but they are there. There are a few PS4 exclusives that I wouldn't mind getting, but my jam is Gears of War. So it was Xbox for me. And that's the reason I bought an Xbox, and that's why I've stayed with it. And I also like the integration between the Xbox One and Windows 10 now. It works for me. It does exactly what I want to do as a content creator. I just mess around and create videos if I can. Flailing around trying to do stuff. And there you go. That's it, really. So, yeah. Game Max Tornado. I'll give it a try, see how it goes. There must be some software that I have to use to install it, because those buttons aren't going to work without creating macros. So I assume I'd have to go to a website or something for that. But I'll check it out and I'll report back. So where are we? If you've noticed any noise in the background, by the way, the kittens are tearing the place up at the moment. I don't let them in here because there's too much stuff that they can hurt themselves on. They could knock guitars over on themselves. They could knock... yeah, you can probably hear their bells on their collars. Yeah, there's stuff that they can knock over, and I don't want them to hurt themselves, so I don't let them in here. So that's... They've just knocked the phone off now. So... Right, I'm back. I wasn't going to edit this video. I'm going to have to now. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's where we are at the moment. So later on today, I'm going to literally edit, upload, and get cracking on some bits and pieces. I've got some study for my Microsoft Certified Solutions Associate, MCSA, Server 2012 R2 to do now for a couple of hours. That's going to take me up till 12. Or possibly a little bit later, maybe about 1 o'clock I'll start on PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds stream to Twitch. I'm probably going to leave the other streaming to Beam now. As I said in my previous video, most of my stuff is going to be Beam or Twitch now. I'm not really going to... I'm going to do the music creation streaming to YouTube, purely on the basis that there's more viewers there. But you won't miss anything, because anything that I can move over that doesn't contain any copyright content, I'll move over as a VOD, so you can catch up on it anyway. I'll leave links in the description down below to my Beam and my Twitch channels. And I'm going to go and murder these cats. Not really. So yeah, I'm going to go and do some study if they're going to let me. Get this video uploaded, and we're going to get cracking, and I'll let you know how this thing goes in my stream today. And hopefully, if you want to join me on Beam for the Hysteria full album playing, then I'll see you there. Until then, laters.